Hello and welcome. Welcome to the Virtually Maker Fair. This is Happy Code Club presenting. I'm glad that you're here. Here today we're going to have a talk. Really, it's a talk that presents two ideas. It's two ideas that are helping to meet a critical need in terms of food insecurity as it relates to people who have been impacted severely in terms of food insecurity by the COVID-19 crisis. And so this talk is going to present you what our team at Happy Code Club has come up with in terms of how we are getting involved and what we plan to do to help during this critical time. And so let me tell you a little bit about who we are. So we are a kids coding club, kids coding and robotics, that's based out of Stamford, Connecticut. And we partner with schools, libraries, and camps. And as you can imagine, when everything shut down, we were impacted as well. And so our programs came to a halt, and we needed to reinvent ourselves. And now you can see that if you go to our website at happycodeclub.com, that we are running most of our programs virtually. But of course, it isn't the same. We're not there with the kids, which is what we love to do. And because our team is mostly of passionate instructors who are either in college or recent graduates, we would love to keep them busy. And so we ideated, and this is one of the reasons why we're getting involved, is this is a tremendous project for our instructors who come from the technology area, who are passionate about technology. Some are passionate about education. Some are even medical students on our team who have these wonderful intentions to teach kids throughout the year. And in the summer camp, suddenly because of the crisis, we finding ourselves now with this opportunity in sort of a way, you can look at it in a way that it's an opportunity for us to get involved and help. And this is why we're doing it, mostly because we feel that because we come from a perspective of solving problems with technology, we can help. But we also, there's a community factor in this. And so these two ideas that I'm going to talk about today are going to give you a sense of how you can be involved. Perhaps you may want to be involved and reach out to me. Reach out to us. You can find us at happycodeclub.com. And I also put in the live chat comments our website, our email address, and our phone number. And don't hesitate to pick up the phone. And if you feel that this is going to inspire you or has inspired you, please do get in touch with us because we are very early in the stage and we could use some help. So let's get into it. So basically, what do we plan to do? So we plan to develop one of two apps pending forthcoming information, because we're actually boots on the ground talking to community members. We are talking with nonprofits, we're talking to food banks, we're talking to people who actually are feeling food insecurity, because we want to gather as much information. And this is probably a way that you can get involved. So once we have more information, we're going to go in either one of the two directions in order for us to develop this app. At the end of the day, we want to come up with a beta that can be published on either the iOS platform, well, both iOS and also on the Google Play Store, so that these apps are available for both of the platforms. So a simple app. So let's talk about how a simple app on a phone, together with your help, together with the community, but mostly the concept of how a simple mobile app can help feed more people who have been affected by the COVID-19 crisis. So we started with that simple idea, and we looked around, And we're not the first to market. There are other solution providers who already have apps that solve a very specific niche. Like, for example, Meals on Wheels. Yes, we looked at an app that one of the Meals on Wheels locations has, which empowers their volunteers to receive a schedule of the day and make deliveries using the app. And I think it's a wonderful solution. It's a great way to solve the problem of people not being able to get to a location and pick up food that they need. So naturally, with an idea like that, it can go further and make it available for other institutions who wish they had an app or could benefit from having an app such as that and elevate their business model. So that's one of the two approaches. The other approach would be to create a sort of an app that aggregates information that's available in your community where the food is located, and then display this information easily, readily, and very extremely localized. So those are the two simple ideas, and I'm going to get back to those in a minute. Let me tell you about who we are and like who's getting involved in this application development so far. So my team is comprised of coding instructors who work at Happy Code Club, Mary Daigle, who is a recent graduate, and Sagar Gulati, who is a medical student at UConn Farmington, Jeffrey Martinez, coding instructor and also at UConn Stores, Justin Atai, who is at RPI, and Karina Gino, who is studying to be a teacher, and she joins us as well. So we have, as you can see, we have a mix of people with multi-talents, multi-skills, who are passionate about this cause and want to see it move forward. But we could definitely use your help if you are in an area of app development or if you're in the community. We'd love to hear from you. And myself, I am the founder of Happy Code Club. I started it in 2016, and it's been a wonderful journey partnering with schools and teaching fun and exciting programs in coding and robotics. So, as I previously described, let me get back to this idea of what we're planning to do. And so we broke the problem down regarding food insecurity, how it has been amplified by the COVID-19 crisis. So what we're finding is that there are a lot of people who have lost their jobs, and this trend is going to continue to go up, unfortunately. And so their families are now experiencing this food insecurity. Many of them haven't received food handouts before. This is an embarrassing situation for a lot of people. And unfortunately, not a lot of people can get the food that they need from the resources that are being sent around. You may find in your inbox from your community resources that the schools are providing, that the local town halls are providing, or perhaps other nonprofits. They're aggregating information on where people can go and get food, either on a specific day of the week, or on a one-time basis, or on a subscription basis. There's places that already do that business model where they take in people who want to enroll in programs such as food delivery on a subscription type basis. But not everyone can get this food. Imagine if you were undocumented, or if you were a person who doesn't speak English, or you have a handicap, or you can't get to the locations, or you got the information too late. Or if you're experiencing emergency food crisis. A lot of these needs aren't, unfortunately, there are really good intentions and a lot of resources out there, and there isn't a scarcity of food. And there's also compounded by the fact there are still lots and lots of donors who can help out. But unfortunately, they can't get there or don't have time. And how can an app make all of this a lot more efficient and help to solve the need. Amongst these providers that give relief by way of emergency food, you have your 211s, you have your food pantries. In your local community, you have access to schools who have aggregated resources as well. There's food banks. Imagine, going back to that school concept, there are kids who go to school, public schools, who actually some families actually rely on the meals that their kids get from the public schools. So that's a critical situation that has definitely impacted millions upon millions of people. So as we envision the app solution, we're envisioning an app that is technology agnostic and can be implemented regardless of where you're located, because it'll work with your particular your locality, your food pantry, your food bank, your nonprofit, your soup kitchen. So getting back to the two different approaches that we had previously presented is either a logistics app that helps to deliver food, or a food tracking app that serves up local resources and aggregates them in a clear, easy way to navigate from the app itself. So an app that would deliver, think of it your DoorDash for people who need to get food but they can't afford to pay for it. So an app that would help to deliver the food. Anybody can volunteer. Any food bank can use it. They would simply assign a route to volunteers who want to pick up a route. It could be a one delivery. It could be multiple deliveries if you want to go to different locations and deliver this food. The people who need the food would simply sign up. A really easy approach without a lot of documentation is needed from people who want to get the food. One of the things we notice is that so far is people who need food need to provide documentation. They need to be residents. They need to be enrolled in a school. You can't pick up food for a sibling. For somebody who's sick at home, you can only get it for yourself. And so these things aren't necessarily helping to feed everyone, unfortunately. So if you think of it as the DoorDash, Grubhubs of the world, who are delivering food to people who order food on the fly and have it delivered directly to your door, we're not necessarily thinking that it has to be meals. It could be food that people can then prepare at home. It could be dry ingredients. It could be fresh produce. It could be dairy products. It could be frozen entrees. That essentially a grocery list that people can essentially receive on a one-time, let's say for an emergency, and you have no food. And with this app, you can get this food delivered to you if you find yourself in a crisis. So we're thinking along those lines for one of our solutions. And the other way where we would love to get your input, and again, I had put our contact information in the live chat if you want to get in touch with us. We're thinking of a food tracking app, an app that serves up on the app the local resources that are being provided by your community, but in a more concise and up-to-date fashion, where from a calendar view and from a map view, you can easily locate a resource where you can go to and pick up food or call. And then hopefully with this meaningful and useful and easy way, anybody, despite their language, can find a local resource in order to get the food that they may not otherwise know exists nearby, as there isn't a shortage of the food, but a lot of times there is a way to find it or have the food find its way to you. So these are the two approaches that we're thinking of. And as I said before, our team is talking to people. We are calling, we're visiting the various food banks, the pantries. We're also talking to people who are actually getting food and getting their feedback, but we'd love to hear yours as well. We could definitely use some coaching and assistance. If you happen to be an expert in app development or have some experience in app development in order to get apps through a rapid process, we'd love to learn more about the methodologies that you've used, how you've gotten your app on the market. What are some of the caveats that we can expect as developers? We'd love to hear from you. We would also, if you're a project manager, we would love to hear from you. If you are in need, if you can also help us if you have experience with the from the public sector, from the emergency sector, and what's happening in your area. We'd love to hear more data, more information, as we plan to build our skinny model, our lean, our MVP, our minimal viable product, in order to get it to the market in a beta fashion. Before we do that, we'd love to sift through and parse the information that's coming from the community as we think through our ideas, just to help us to think critically with intelligence. So if you have access to this information, please do get in touch with us and tell us what's happening in your community and how an app like this, would it be used? Would it not be used? Which of the two approaches you think works best, or is there a third that we haven't thought of? So we'd love to hear from you. And again, my name is Fernando, Fernando@happycodeclub.com, or visit us at happycodeclub.com and click on the Contact Us page and get in touch with us that way, or give us a call. And thank you very much. I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations at Virtually Maker Faire 2020. And I hope that we hear from you, and I'd love to get involved with you at some point. Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.